Memory is essential to all our lives. Without memory of the past, we cannot operate in the present or think about the future. We would not be able to remember what we did yesterday, what we have done today, or what we plan to do tomorrow. Without memory, we could not learn anything. Memory is involved in processing vast amounts of information. This information takes many different forms. For example, images, sounds, or meaning. For psychologists, the term memory covers three important aspects of information processing. When information comes into our memory system from sensory inputs like sights or sounds or touch, it needs to be changed into a form that the system can cope with so that it can be stored. Think of this as similar to changing your money into different currency when you travel from one country to another. For example, a word which is seen in a book may be stored if it is changed and coded into a sound or meaning. There are three main ways which information can be encoded: visual, acoustic, or somatic. For example, how do you remember a telephone number you have looked up in the phone book? If you see it, then you're using visual encoding. But if you're repeating it to yourself, you are using acoustic coding. Evidence suggests that this is the principal coding system in short-term memory, or STM, in acoustic encoding. When a person is presented with a list of numbers and letters, they will try to hold on to them in STM by rehearsing them verbally. Rehearsal is a verbal process regardless of whether the list of items is presented acoustically, someone reads them out, or visually on a sheet of paper. The principal encoding system in long-term memory, or LTM, appears to be a somatic coding system by meaning. However, one-quarter information of long-term memory can be coded both visually and acoustically. Memory storage. This concerns the nature of memory stores. For example, where the information is stored, how long the information lasts for, and how much can be stored at any given time, and what kind of information is held. The way we store information affects the way we retrieve it. There have been a significant amount of research regarding the differences between short-term memory and long-term memory. Most adults can store between 5 and 9 items in their short-term memory. George Miller of Harvard University put this idea forward in 1956, and he called it the magic number 7. He thought that short-term memory capacity was 7, plus or minus 2 items, because it only had a certain number of slots, which the items could be stored. This is the theory behind having a 7-digit phone number. However, Miller didn't specify the amount of information that can be held in each slot. If we can chunk information together, we can store a lot more information in our short-term memory. This is why we have an area code with our phone number. In contrast, the capacity of long-term memory is thought to be unlimited. Information can only be stored for a brief duration in short-term memory, approximately 30 seconds, but long-term memory can last forever. Memory revival. This refers to getting information out of storage. If we can't remember something, it may be because we are unable to retrieve it. When we are asked to retrieve something from a memory, the differences between short-term memory and long-term memory become very clear. Short-term memory is retrieved sequentially. For example, if a group of participants are given a list of words to remember and then asked to recall the 4th word on the list, participants go through the list in order they heard it in order to retrieve the information. Long-term memory is retrieved by association. This is why you can remember what you went upstairs for if you go back to the room where you first thought it. Organizing information can help aid retrieval. You can organize information in sequences, such as alphabetically, by size, or by time. Imagine a patient being discharged from a hospital whose treatment involved taking various pills at various times, changing their dressing, and doing exercise. If the doctor gives these instructions in order which they must be carried out throughout the day, this will help the patient remember them.